I deserve a great destiny, and I will let nothing, nor no one, stand in the way of my dream.
History will remember me, and the sacrifices
Dear God,
I made.
if I lose the war against France, I will be doomed.
I deserve a great destiny, and I will let nothing, nor no one, stand in the way of my dream.
Mindful, alas, that we ourselves have had a share.
Emily?
Louis,
You were reciting something.
a prayer of atonement. It's my punishment, Louis, for what I did to Emma. I must do penance for all my sins.
It's a lot more complex than that. You're in the ether and...
I am dead, Louis. I am stuck at the place of my death and I can't seem to move. And I'm talking to an apparition that represents precisely why I lost my mind. The one for whom I committed the unforgivable.
Emily, listen to me. I assure you...
No, that's enough. I can't bear it anymore. Even in death, I have to pay for my errors. Isn't being dead payment enough? I am damned. Leave me alone, demons. I don't want to listen to you anymore. Off with you, Satan!
Leave her, Louis. There's nothing you can do for her. Very well, Emily. Very well.
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, I confess, my God, I have sinned. Away from me, Satan! Never again will I heed your words. In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti, or renouncing the vows of their baptism, mindful, alas, that we ourselves have had a share in such great indignities, which we now deplore from the depths of our hearts. We humbly ask your pardon and declare our willingness to atone by God. Mindful, alas, that we ourselves have had a share.
What am I doing here now? Nothing seems real.
You're nothing but a coward.
What a bunch of amateurs you are. Please, keep calm.
What on earth is going on here? I don't understand a thing.
Louis, don't waste any time. Appease them. My thoughts are becoming confused. Help me. Be quick.
Yes, not a minute to lose.
I won't let him attack his brother.
That's not really Elizabeth, it's another demon who wants to protect home from Mortimer. On a symbolic level, he should be placed between the two of them.
count on my father and my son to defend me. Yes. But will they make it in time?
That's not really Elizabeth, it's another demon who wants to protect home from Mortimer. On a symbolic level, he should be placed between the two of them.
Stay with me, Louis. We must take Alazif back from him.
One thing is for sure, my mother and Volnor have the same objective, to find that book. They're following the same trail and must be close to each other.
God damn it. I don't understand a thing. I'm doomed.
Emma is completely lost. She needs to be close to her sister. As for Emily, well, she no longer trusts anyone. Apart from me, that is. I have to stay by her side.
wants to isolate me again.
That's not really Elizabeth, it's another demon who wants to protect home from Mortimer. On a symbolic level, he should be placed between the two of them.
I won't let him attack his brother.
That's not really Elizabeth, it's another demon who wants to protect home from Mortimer. On a symbolic level, he should be placed between the two of them. Looks like I've succeeded. They've all disappeared.
Louis, it's worked. But don't waste any time.
Yes, I'm coming.
At least as soon as I found the exit.
Is anyone there? I can hear you. I know you're there. Help me. Help! Can anyone hear me? It's not fair. I don't deserve this. I didn't do anything. Help me, please.
What? What are you doing here?
You? It wasn't enough for you to let me be killed. You have to come here and stop babbling away at me. Fool! You couldn't have stopped her from shooting, could you?
Wait, Emma, you're the one who passed yourself off as Emily. You decided you wanted to play with us. You pushed your sister to the edge, and now this is the result. It's got nothing to do with me.
I only wanted to exist for one brief moment. Spending my life in her shadow, being her double, it wasn't enough. I must have taken up too much room again.
That's not what I said.
Only appearing to carry out the basest of chores. How ungrateful of me to want to exist, to make my own choices. It suits you to think that it's all my fault. Be that as it may. Louis, we have no time to lose. Help me, please.
What on earth is she talking about?
Come on, you're dead.
No. There's got to be a solution. I am made of the same stuff as you. I already survived a gunshot at point-blank range. I will survive this. Help me. I'll go mad if I stay here any longer. I must have been here several months. I stopped counting from... Hang on. What are you doing here? Are you dead?
Look, never mind. Don't take this the wrong way, but it would take too long to explain it all.
But you can move about, can't you?
I'm not dead, Emma.
So you should be able to help me.
Emma, I have no idea of what's going on. How do you expect me to help you?
There must be a way. I beg you, promise you will help me, Louis.
Emma, how can you expect me to promise anything under these conditions?
Don't leave me, Louis.
Look, I don't want to get your hopes up, Emma. I hope you understand. Farewell.
No, Louis. No! Louis! No! Don't leave me. Louis! Filthy scum, I'll kill you! I'll get out of here and I'll come looking for you, Louis de Richet! Do you hear me? I will find you!
I must be quick.
My memories. I'm losing my sense of who. Louis? Are you there?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Pick up the thread of my thoughts, Louis. Of my memories. Make haste!
And coincidentally, who
This is about my arrival, as well as Emily's. There must be an earlier memory that talks about my sisters.
And coincidentally, who arrives at the same time as Emily? Louis de Richet, his son. He brings his 4 children together, and even then I didn't react. And coincidentally, who arrives at the same time as Emily?
This memory is important, but it's as if there's something missing. There must be an order to this.
And coincidentally, who arrives at the same time? He allowed me to bring...
It's about my first vision on the island, the day of my arrival. This could be the beginning of the story, yet Holmes is talking about bringing Emily back again. So there must have been something before this.
He allowed me to bring Emily back again to this conference.
No, not yet.
He allowed me to bring Emily back again to this conference, supposedly to find her sister, whereas Emma hadn't even disappeared yet. The poor wretch was shot as her sister was setting foot on the island. I should have understood that earlier. Charles Francois. What?
He's talking about Charles-François d'Angennes and Françoise d'Aubigné. They were contemporaries of Louis XIV. This has nothing to do with what brought home here. I had to look somewhere else.
Dear Countess Dunostar.
I heard about this story. The Countess was apparently an acquaintance of Sir Gregory, but this has nothing to do with what's happening at the manor. I can put that one to the side.
Dear Countess Dunostar. What a pity. France.
Analysis is correct, but there's no link to what interests me here.
It was a trap.
Previous conference? That's when Mortimer started putting his plan into action. That's how this whole thing began.
It was a trap right from the start. At the previous conference 3 years ago, I'm sure he already knew I would bring the Hillsborough sisters here. He knew it. He knew it. He already knew they were his daughters. At the previous conference 3 years ago, I'm sure he already knew I would bring
This
the
is the
Hillsborough
first event that brought home here.
He knew it.
Oh yeah, I'm on the right track.
I recalled Sparta. And when
Elizabeth's presence was crucial for Holmes. If she was still here, he'd still be alive. This memory is important without a shadow of a doubt. It took place after my arrival with Emily and Cardinal Biaggi, but well before I found out the truth about my nature.
And when Elizabeth disappeared, No, it's not possible. I couldn't have missed that. Not me. He cut me off from our father, and I didn't say a word. He cut me off from our father, and I didn't say a word.
I must have missed a memory.
I recall Sparta.
One of Holmes' distant memories and one of his brothers. With an ego like his, he's undoubtedly talking about Mortimer. Could there be a link here? No, at the time they weren't enemies like they are today.
I recalled Sparta, of my exchanges back then with my brother. I did everything in my power to avoid the Peloponnesian War, but he wouldn't listen. He always wanted more. Father wasn't gentle with William back then, shutting him in the body of Pericles for 8 years, and reducing Athens and its cursed democracy to its knees. I recalled Sparta, of my exchanges back then with my brother.
I'm losing focus. Come on, Louis, concentrate. I must concentrate on the important memories, the ones that led Holmes into this situation.
He feeds Louis. He feeds Louis, and I continue to see nothing. He stuffed his poor son with an occult knowledge that we usually take months to give to our children, and Louis is only trying his best to get by. He doesn't realize he's being led to the slaughter. He stuffed his poor son with an occult knowledge that we...
What have I missed?
I recall Sparta. It was a trap right from the start. At the previous conference 3 years ago, I'm sure he already knew I would bring the Hillsborough sisters here. He knew it. He already knew they were his daughters. At the previous conference 3 years ago, I'm sure he already knew I would bring
This is
the
the first event that brought Holmes here. Oh yeah, I'm on the right track.
He allowed me to bring Emily back again to this conference. He allowed me to bring Emily back again to this conference, supposedly to find her sister, whereas Emma hadn't even disappeared yet. The poor wretch was shot as her sister was setting foot on the island. I should have understood that earlier. He allowed me to bring Emily back again to this conference, supposedly to find
I'm on the right track here.
coincidentally, who arrives at the same time as Emily? And coincidentally, who arrives at the same time as Emily? Louis de Richet, his son. He brings his 4 children together, and even then I didn't react. And coincidentally, who arrives at the same time as Emily?
I'm getting closer to him.
And coincidentally, who arrives at the same time as Emily? He's coming! I recalled Sparta, and when Elizabeth disappeared,
Elizabeth's presence was crucial for Holm. If she was still here, he'd still be alive. This memory is important without a shadow of a doubt. It took place after my arrival with Emily and Cardinal Biaggi, but well before I found out the truth about my nature.
And when Elizabeth disappeared, No, it's not possible. I couldn't have missed that. Not me. He cut me off from our father, and I didn't say a word. He cut me off from our father, and I didn't say a word. And when Elizabeth disappeared, His children are gathered together? Yes? Here. He feeds Louis, and I continue to see nothing. He stuffed his poor son with an occult knowledge that we usually take months to give to our children, and Louis is only trying his best to get by. He doesn't realize he's being led to the slaughter. He stuffed his poor son with an occult knowledge that we...
Getting to the end here.
I recalled Sparta. France. So much effort. So much. And the cherry on the cake. And the cherry on the cake is I drank his cursed tea. He knew I would drink it. The rascal knows me better than I do myself.
The blood that Mortimer used is deadly poison for a demon. Holm won't survive it. Oh, it's over for him. He's finished.
And the cherry on the cake is I drank his cursed tea. He trapped me. He poisoned me to stop me from being able to leave this body. He cut off all communication with Father and brought his children here. How could I not have seen it earlier? He's going to absorb me. The traitor! No one can stop him now. Hurry, Louis. I absolutely must see you before it's too late. You have managed to follow my thoughts. Come to me! Quickly! Louis, hurry! He's coming!
What's happening?
I can sense him. He's here. He's trying to get inside me, Louis. William has completely lost his mind. He's getting ready to pull out all the stops. He's going to devour my mind, Louis. I'm not going to be able to stop him.
Louis, you are here. I sense your presence.
What? But he can't even see me.
Congratulations, my son. You have succeeded in joining us.
Louis, don't let him draw you in there. You are signing your death warrant if you decide to follow him. I won't be there to protect you.
It's over, my son. We have won. A new order can be born.
Louis, I'm so weak. I can feel him entering. I can no longer keep him out. He's coming.
He's here.
I can. Can you see him?
He's here. He's coming closer to you.
Where? Louis. I don't want to just disappear. He's inside my mind. I can feel him crushing me.
He's just in front of you.
I'm so sorry, brother. There's nothing you can do to stop me now. You made your choice, and you have lost.
I was wrong about him from the very beginning. He's mad. He must be stopped. You can still do something, Louis. Don't let him get away with all this so easily. I implore you.
Look at yourself, Uncle. You're just as bad as he is. Despite being centuries old, despite all the wisdom you should have acquired, I don't believe in you, nor do I believe in him. You can count on me to do my utmost so that neither of you will succeed in your plans.
You can be so stupid. As for me, I won't be around much longer. So if you want to stand the slightest chance against him, at least make sure you are armed, Louis.
What do you mean?
The lance, Louis. Have you got the lance?
It's over, brother. Don't fight it.
You will be punished for this.
Perhaps, but you won't be there to see it, will you?
You will be punished.
Where am I?
It's all right, son. Don't panic. It's over.
I'm back? Where are the guests?
I invited them to go up to their rooms. They're resting. Don't worry.
Gregory?
We won, Louis. It's over.
He's dead?
Definitively. Now the way is clear. At any rate, rejoice. Great things await us.
What did you do to him?
I devoured his soul.
But I didn't see you use the Holy Lance.
Indeed not. I didn't need to. Can't you guess how I did it? The Lance of Longinus is just a vessel, Louis. It could have been any object that had the blood of Christ on it. The blood of an ancient, more precisely. But I didn't need the blood of an ancient. You see, I have been in dear Lord Mortimer's physical body for longer than my brother has been in Sir Gregory Holmes. Therefore, I am an ancient, Louis.
He was your brother. Why did you kill him? He never meant you any harm.
Oh, Louis, I am exhausted. Let's talk about this later.
No, tell me why now. I want to understand.
Stubborn as a mule. After centuries of trying to convince him, I assure you I had no other option than to do away with him. He would never have allowed me to depose our father. In the past, he had already opposed me, and sometimes very violently. He seemed to you like a man of peace, because you did not represent any danger to him. But I can assure you, he was not. With anything to do with our father, he would be merciless. In any case, what's done is done. I'm going to rest in the dining room. Join me there when you're ready. The time has come to end this little antisocial gathering.
No doubt about it. This family is rotten to the marrow. I did right not to trust them. Right. All I have to do now is confront Mortimer. Right. Now's the time to join Mortimer. I won't be able to go back after... Here we go.
Louis, at last.
You wanted to see me?
Let's get it over with, shall we? I've grown tired of all this. But before we begin, I would like you to give me back the Holy Lance, please. Now that Gregory is gone, he won't be needing it anymore, and I prefer to put it back in its place.
I no longer have it. Of course. Here you are, Father.
Thank you. Congratulations, by the way. You managed to find the right one among all the copies. I'm impressed. This conference will have been one of the most eventful I've ever known.
I'll just have to take your word for it.
Before I get to why we're here, you must know that I've been watching you very closely over these past few days. I was impressed by your intervention to prevent Peru from killing himself. You remind me of myself when I was starting out. As for the door of my crypt, no one had ever found out how to open it before you. You succeeded in telling the Hillsborough twins apart. Even for me, that wasn't an easy thing to do at first. I remain proud of what you achieved for me by falsifying that letter to the Pope on behalf of Piaggi, because I know that was not an easy task. But the important thing is that you escaped the worst with Volner, because he could have killed you when you were in the guise of Piaggi.
Yes, it was a bit touch and go.
Which leads me to a chat about what I envisage for you now. You are the chosen one, Louis. The one I've been waiting for all this time.
Thank you,
We are going to be able to become one.
I don't quite follow you.
Be proud of yourself, son, for you are the one I have chosen to be my next mortal coil.
But what about me? Am I imagining things, or did he just tell me to my face that he's going to eat me?
Unfortunately, no, you won't survive the transfer. But I want you to know that I only select my bodies from my own children, and that you are the one who has impressed me most. It's far from being my first time, as you can imagine. I didn't think it was possible to find a more promising son than dear Augustus. You can be very proud of yourself.
Wait a second, hang on. Do you realize what you're saying? Are you insane?
Oh, come, my son. Let's not end everything on a bad note, please.
Son of a bitch! He's not going to get away with this so easily. I won't let you do it.
What on earth are you thinking? That you'll be able to kill me? This is ridiculous, Louis. Come now, be reasonable. Don't fight.
I won.
As Mortimer had planned, Napoleon Bonaparte sold Louisiana to the United States after purchasing it from Spain. Bonaparte continued his political and military ascension until he proclaimed himself emperor. He went on to invade a large part of Central Europe. The legend of Napoleon persisted after his death, conferring on the emperor the role of Messiah for France. Remaining very popular, George Washington put an end to the various internal rebellions without violence and re-established trade agreements with Great Britain. Upon his death, he became a national hero and left an entire nation in a state of mourning. On his return to Spain, Manuel Godoy proceeded to give Louisiana up to France. Later on, he became the target of the Crown Prince of Spain, Ferdinand VII. The latter gave no respite to his mother's lover, going as far as condemning him to exile. He confiscated all of Manuel's titles and possessions, as well as those of his mistress, Pepita. Pursued, they ended up living out their last years in France in poverty and anonymity. The influence von Volner had over King Frederick William ironically ended up working against him. The sovereign thrust him into increasing repression until the end of his reign. Von Volner became the object of the people's hatred, was therefore stripped of his titles and land by the new king, and died in poverty to general indifference in the Prussian countryside. Sarah de Richet threw herself into the Seine River from the Pont des Arts before a crowd of dumbfounded bystanders just a few days after her son's return to Paris. He spoke of his aging mother's recent depression and took over the running of the Golden Order, whose expansion was rapid. On his return to Paris, Peru gave himself up to his peers of the revolutionary courts. He admitted to being implicated in several state corruption cases. Found guilty of treason toward the Republic, he was executed without a trial. No more was ever heard of Lord William Mortimer. His sudden disappearance was the subject of conversations in the European courts, but only for a few months.